The story of Judith is one of courage, beauty, intelligence, and deep faith in God, as told in the book of Judith in the Deuterocanonical or apocryphal books of the Bible. The story is set during a time when the Jewish people were under the threat of the powerful Assyrian army led by General Holofernes, a ruthless warrior serving under King Nebuchadnezzar. Holofernes was tasked with conquering the lands that did not submit to the Assyrian Empire, and he laid siege to the city of Bethulia, a key strategic location in Israel. The people of Bethulia were on the verge of surrender due to a lack of water, and their faith in God wavered. Judith was a widow, known not only for her remarkable beauty, but also for her intelligence, piety, and unwavering faith in God. She lived a devout life, fasting regularly, praying constantly, and following the laws of Moses with dedication. Despite being a widow, she carried herself with dignity and wisdom, earning the respect of all who knew her. When the leaders of Bethulia were ready to give up, Judith stepped forward with a bold and strategic plan. She was filled with faith and believed that God would deliver her people from their enemies, as he had done before in Israel's history. Judith rebuked the elders of the city for doubting God and reminded them that deliverance could come through their faith. Judith decided to take matters into her own hands, trusting completely in God's providence. She adorned herself with fine clothing, jewelry, and perfume, enhancing her natural beauty, though her intention was not vanity. Instead, she planned to use her beauty as a weapon against the enemy. Judith believed that her charm would open the door for a greater purpose, saving her people. With her maidservant, Judith left Bethulia and presented herself at the camp of Holofernes. When the Assyrian soldiers saw her, they were struck by her beauty and led her to their general, believing she was a blessing from the gods. Holofernes was immediately captivated by Judith. He welcomed her, and she cleverly told him that she had information that could help him conquer Bethulia. Judith claimed that the people of her city were about to surrender and that she could guide Holofernes to victory. Her beauty and eloquence blinded Holofernes, making him eager to trust her. Judith was careful to praise Holofernes and flatter him, all the while silently trusting God to guide her actions. She maintained her purity and dignity, never allowing herself to be defiled by the enemy. After several days of building Holofernes' trust, Judith was invited to dine with him. Holofernes, entranced by her beauty, drank heavily at the feast, hoping to seduce her. But Judith, always wise and patient, waited for the perfect moment. When Holofernes became drunk and fell into a deep sleep, Judith seized the opportunity. In a powerful and climactic moment, Judith prayed for strength and guidance. Then, with courage and precision, she took Holofernes' own sword and beheaded him. She wrapped his head in a cloth and, with her maidservant, returned to Bethulia under the cover of night. The next morning, Judith presented Holofernes' head to the leaders of Bethulia. Her people were astonished by her bravery and faith. The sight of their dead general threw the Assyrian army into chaos, and they fled, leaving Israel victorious. Judith was celebrated as a heroine, a woman of great beauty, intelligence, and faith. Her story exemplifies how God can use those who are willing to trust Him completely, regardless of their circumstances. Judith's strategic mind, her courage in the face of danger, and her deep devotion to God serve as an example of how God uses both spiritual and physical gifts for His purposes. In Judith's story, her beauty was not just physical. It was a reflection of her inner strength, wisdom, and righteousness. She did not rely on it for selfish gain, but saw it as a tool given by God to fulfill His plan. Her faith in God's deliverance, combined with her intelligence and strategic thinking, was what truly made her extraordinary.